What is up, you guys? Happy Friday, and surprise, we are doing a live episode today. So we'll see how this goes. This is actually going to be episode number 161, and what you'll discover in this episode is why personal responsibility for your life experience changes everything, why everything you experience in your life is by your own creation, how to see the ways that you're avoiding your personal responsibility. This is going to be some tough love today. We're also going to go over the pattern that not owning your life experiences can create. And we're also going to talk about how to start owning personal responsibility for your life. Do you see the theme here, right? So, we're going to call this empowerment through personal responsibility, how to unleash your full potential.
You're listening to the Get Unstuck podcast with business mentor, health and fitness influencer, and trainer Heather Newman. Each week, Heather provides you with tips and tools to glitter your soul and add sparkle to your life. Let's get unstuck. You are not a tree, so let's learn to move, change, and find true happiness by creating a vision and living your dreams. For blog posts, business tips, fitness training, at-home workouts, and more, subscribe to glitteru.com. Now, let's get happy. Here's your host, Heather Newman.
What is up, my beautiful tone babes? Yes, I know. We usually go live every Wednesday, and we've been so consistent, and I can see all of you leaving the reviews. I want to give a big shout out to Hear Nemo and Noodle in the back. I told you it's live. It may be a complete-ish show, or it's going to be a lot of fun, or both. So, I want to give a big shout out to Stephanie. Thank you so much for all of the feedback that you've been giving on the podcast. It really does help so much if you just even leave a little bitty review, like a mini, hey, this was awesome. Hey, I found this helpful. Hey, or even like share this with a friend. It helps so much. You guys have no idea. Like in podcasting, nobody knows that you're podcasting. You actually have to leave a comment, and the more comments that are left, then that will give you a little bit more traction. So for those of my tone babes that are planning on starting their own podcast, or if you're already podcasting, go ahead and ask your listeners if they can help you by just leaving a comment on any platform. So again, thank you to Stephanie. And I also wanted to give a shout out to my girl, Nina. Nina always shares the hashtag Get Unstuck podcast episode that she's listening to over on her Instagram stories. And she always tags me, and I just can't thank you enough. I do have a little surprise for both of you ladies just for leaving those reviews and being so consistent. I really do appreciate all of you as my listeners, and I'm keeping an eye out for those of you that are actually leaving some comments. Again, I appreciate your feedback so much. And over on iTunes, that's the little purple icon, the little purple app, you can actually leave a 5-star review or a 4-star, whatever stars. I'm asking for a 5-star. But if you leave a 5-star review, it actually helps the rankings of the podcast, which is so incredibly helpful. Okay, I'm going to stop begging for feedback. You get the idea. It's so very helpful. But welcome back to the hashtag Get Unstuck podcast, a podcast for all of you ladies in the second half of life who are ready to take responsibility for your own well-being and create a life that you love living. I'm here to help motivate women just like you to look good and feel great in this second half of life. I am your host, Heather Newman, and after spending the first 48 years of my life being a complete people pleaser and living with a scarcity mindset, I was stuck and I was ready for a change. I reinvented myself. I stopped outsourcing my happiness, and I've been brave enough to live a different kind of life. I'll be here each week to help you do the same thing. So grab your headset or your earbuds, lace up those sneakers, grab your puppy so he can make a lot of noise while you're trying to film a podcast, and tighten that ponytail, and let's do this. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you have not got subscribed yet, please get subscribed. All right, you guys, I went over a few things that we're going to talk about today. And again, this is a live recording. I don't usually go live, but I was like, hey, why not? Let's go live. It's a Friday, something new. So we're going to call this Empowerment Through Personal Responsibility, how to unleash your full potential. So again, welcome back to another hopefully empowering episode of the Get Unstuck podcast. And today I want to dive deep into something that's incredibly important for our personal growth and happiness. We're going to talk about personal boundaries and taking 100% personal responsibility for our lives. Now, before I dive into this, I've always got to talk about something that's going on. And I just want to share with you, this is really off the cuff here, but the longer that I'm on social media and the more that I see women, especially, I follow a lot of women that are in their second half of life because that's who I cater to. That's who I'm trying to help. And that's who I want to listen to. I want to listen to the obstacles, the struggles that you're having. I know that a lot of you can relate to the ones that I have dealt with and continue to deal with, but now that I have tools to use and I share those tools with you, I know that our life can be the best life that we need it to be, that we want it to be, that we create for ourselves. Now, in this realm of me and social media, you guys know that it's a very bittersweet relationship. I have been blogging since 2012. You guys, I just got a phone call. Oh my God, I'm live. I told you I'm live, so just expect the unexpected. Okay, what I was talking about. I've been blogging since 2012. I've been in the social media realm. I try to stay on top of my game. I know that as we get older, some of this stuff, we're just like, why do we need so many apps? Why do we need Snapchat? Why do we need TikTok? Why do we need Instagram? I have Facebook. I'm fine on Facebook. You guys, I am so over Facebook. I cannot even tell you enough. I'm just over it. I don't know. I'm kind of bitter. I'm just over Facebook. I'm over it. So with all of that, I've been kind of leaning on Instagram a little bit more, and it's fun. It can be fun. I just show up as organic and authentic as I possibly can. And I just want to say that there's a lot of people, a lot of humans out there that I feel like are taking advantage of people on the internet. I mean, I know this, like, hello, duh. I can be kind of naive at times, but, when I start to follow someone who I think is a professional or a specialist in their field or an expert in their field, I admire I admire what they're doing. I admire that they want to help other people, but I also want to know that you're educated, that you keep up with your continuing education, right? Just like when you go to a hairdresser, you don't want to go to a hairdresser that got their certification in 1989 and has not taken any continuing education courses, and they're still doing your hair like it's 1989, right? Like, we don't want that. We want them to evolve. We want them to keep learning and growing and just stacking all of that knowledge so that they can pour that into our hair or whatever, category of professionalism or profession you are in. So what I'm getting at is I'm a little frustrated, okay? Happy-go-lucky Heather is a little frustrated because I know for a fact that there are people lying on the internet, literally just saying, hey, I'm an expert at this, and no credentials to back it up. And it just kind of drives me crazy. So I'm going to focus on me and you because you're hanging out here with me. You trust me. I just want to tell you what certifications are current with me. Okay, current today. I'm going to go through the list of certifications that I hold. Okay, I am a certified life coach. I am a certified personal trainer. I am a certified group personal trainer. I am a primary group fitness exercise expert. I am certified in emotions in motion. I'm certified in exercise as an anxiety intervention. I am certified in training the brain, the neuroscience of aerobic exercise. I'm certified in mind and body fitness. I am certified in behavior change science. That actually helps clients to stick with their program. I am certified in group exercise the practical way, and that is trademarked. I am obviously a primary group exercise certified instructor. I'm certified in hydration through the lens of fitness and health. I am certified in stand up to childhood obesity, how fitness can impact the future. I am a certified nutrition coach. I am a licensed nutritionist. I am certified in Yoga 1, Yoga 2 through NASM. I am certified as a nutrition coach, and I think that might be all of my currents. Okay. Now I've got a lot of other certifications that I did not keep up with the CEUs on them because it just gets to be too much. So I am now keeping all of my certifications with AFA and NASM. That way, all of the courses that I take, all of the certifications that I take, the continuing education units will be applied, and I can recycle them instead of diversifying, which is what I did for a very long time. I diversified into life coaching, health and nutrition coaching, nutritionist, and there were a couple of more things. But what I found was the core of my values and what was most in alignment with what I teach and what I know to be true and what I practice on a daily basis with my own family and my own health. I can find it all through NASM. So I just want to share that with you. And I also wanted to advise you that if you are training, I don't really care if it's in person or if it's virtually. It doesn't matter. Whoever is training you, you have the right as a client to ask them who they are certified with, and if their license is current, and if they carry liability insurance. So you could actually, as a client, ask for a copy of all of the above if that makes you feel better. Me knowing this, I know that I will not train with anyone that is not currently certified with a current certification and current liability policy. So with that, do your due diligence and just make sure that if you are going to invest in someone as a trainer and invest in your health, that you are with someone who is current and up to date on everything that they are supposed to abide by. Okay? There's certain rules and regulations we're supposed to follow. And I know for a fact there are a ton of people training that have no business training other people. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. You know, this has been really, really bothering me because I spend a lot of hours, I spend a lot of time, I spend a lot of money keeping up to date to make sure that I can bring everything that is valid, current, safe, just all the value that I can bring to you, I share through my education. I am very, very invested in what I do. Okay, we are going to jump back on the topic of personal responsibility.
It's been a tough few years. Have you felt a little lost, fell off track, or maybe your life feels like it's been flipped upside down? Are you ready to get back on track with a simple jumpstart, the healthy way? The 7-Day Sugar Detox, Sugar is the Devil book is now available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. It is a straightforward shortcut that tells you exactly what to eat and how to do this. The 7-Day Sugar Detox, Sugar is the Devil workbook and guide by Heather Newman will help you navigate a new healthy relationship with food. It will teach you which foods work for you and those that don't. This 7-Day Sugar Detox guide is meant to be a staple. It's not a one-time use only book. It's one that you'll want to keep coming back to over and over again for guidance. It's the permanent solution that you've been looking for. This guide is used as a resource to get you back on track when you fall off, and we all do. It's a journey, not a destination. So happy to hear how many of you are enjoying this book, getting massive weight loss results, and use it as a tool after those binging weekends when you've really whooped it up. It's the perfect, easy-to-follow guide, including a grocery list and meal planning recipe options for breakfast, lunch, snacks, and dinner. If it's not on the list, it's not for us. Be sure to grab yours today and grab one for a friend. The 7-Day Sugar Detox, Sugar is the Devil by Heather Newman is available in a paperback and a hardback version. Visit the website www.sugardetox7.com or simply find it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble websites. Sugar is the devil.
All right, you guys. So personal responsibility, just like I just got off my little soapbox with certifications, like it's my responsibility to take care of that and to stay on top of that and to make sure that I am bringing the most value and the most educated knowledge resources to my clients, right? Like I don't want to give you outdated information. I don't do that. That is my personal responsibility, but it's also your personal responsibility if you're going to invest in yourself, invest in training, invest in any kind of health and fitness wellness journey. It's probably your own responsibility also to ask that trainer for their credentials. And if they do have credentials, ask for a date of the last time they actually got certified, because you do have to stay current. Just for the record, again, I'm not on the soapbox, but just so you know, CPR, most of my nurses out there have this. CPR is good for 2 years, right? Every 2 years, you have to go back and get that redone. You want to make sure your trainer has that, right? CEUs, those have to be done. There's usually, depending on who you're certified through, who you're licensed through. If you're with board certification, you usually have to revamp and do so many CEUs, just like an insurance agent, right? Just like hairstylist, just like any profession. You have to continue your education, and you've got a window of usually 2 years that you have to get in at least however many, fill in the blank, depending on the certification that you hold, your primary certification. That's how many CEUs or continuing education classes you are required to take. And also the liability insurance. That is something that they should have with them, okay? So if you ask your trainer, are you licensed? I mean, wouldn't you ask somebody that's working on your house if they carry liability insurance? I mean, I would. It's the same thing with your body, right? You want to make sure that the person that you're training with actually has some liability insurance and they're not just winging it and saying that they're a coach when they have no credentials at all. And there's a lot of them, you guys. There's a lot. So just beware. Now you know, when we know better, we do better, right? So let's just start by acknowledging, moving into the podcast now, I promise, 161. Let's start by acknowledging a fundamental truth. You, and only you are in control of your entire life experience. 100% of it. Now today's episode, it's going to be hopefully kind of short and sweet here. Plug these earbuds into your ears while you go on your Tone Babe walking. You guys know that you're always invited to join me. I have a 25-day ongoing, like you re-register and you do it again, 25-day Tone Babe walking challenge, and I hop in your inbox every single day and drop a little bit of motivation, which is always cool and fun. So just know that today's podcast is kind of a life coaching. I say kind of, it is. It's a life coaching session. So save it and refer back to it when you need it, okay? But in a world where external circumstances often seem to dictate our emotions, it is so freaking crucial to realize that you, my friend, have the ultimate say in how you think, how you feel, and how you show up in your life every single day. No matter what's happening around you, whether someone's being mean to you, or you're facing challenging times, or your health is maybe not the best, or relationships, or finances, how you respond to these situations is entirely within your own control. This is what we call personal responsibility. So I'm going to talk about how to understand the clues for personal boundary work. So let's talk about the practical side of things, right? Like, how do you recognize the clues that indicate that you might need some personal boundary work? I'm going to give you 4. Number 1, feeling resentful and overwhelmed. If you find yourself saying yes to others when you really want to say no, you might end up feeling resentful and overwhelmed. This is a sign that you are not honoring your personal boundaries. Number 2, people-pleasing patterns. Ah, yes. Many of us, especially women, have been conditioned or groomed to be people pleasers. We've been taught that our happiness comes from making others happy. But the reality is this can lead to a lifetime of resentment and bitterness. Number 3, guilt surrounding your choices. If you often feel like you feel guilty for making the decisions that actually prioritize your own well-being over other people's expectations, it's time to reassess your boundaries, because guilt is a feeling that you have learned to associate with self-care, but it's not necessary. So you have permission to let the guilt go. It's like that mom thing. Like we feel like we're being selfish when we invest in ourselves. And we're groomed from when we were very little to be conditioned this way. But I'm here to tell you that's not the way it needs to be. Okay? Number 4, if you have difficulty making decisions. Difficulty making decisions can also be a sure sign that you are struggling with personal boundaries. When you fear disappointing others, or you worry a lot about their opinions, then you might find yourself kind of paralyzed by indecision. And that also indicates that you need to do some personal boundary work. All right. So the whole point of this podcast, and the reason why I wanted to hop on here on a Friday is because I felt like, you know what, some of my girls are probably going to go walking on Saturday morning. The weather's starting to feel a little bit nicer, or even on a Friday evening, if you're just like going to have a chill sesh, maybe I can hang out in your ears. I thought this would be just some tidbits that you could kind of chew on, these nuggets. But I want you to embrace 100% of personal responsibility. And the key to overcoming these challenges is to fully embrace personal responsibility. This means like unapologetically taking charge of your life. Not only taking charge of your life, but also taking complete charge of your emotions and your thoughts. It's about being unattached to external factors and being deeply connected to yourself and your thoughts, and actually listening to your thoughts. How many times do you say, yeah, I'll do that, and then you're asking yourself in your head, like, why did I do that? I don't want to do that. Well, then don't do it. You're so worried about like not meeting someone else's expectations. You're letting yourself down, and you're not being authentically you. So when someone upsets you or lets you down, remember, you are not responsible for their actions or emotions. You are responsible for your reactions and feelings. Instead of blaming others or yourself, get curious about your own freaking responses, right? Like, pay attention. Like, why am I feeling that way? I had an expectation for them to do X, Y, and Z. And you know what happens then? We've talked about this before. If you do something for someone and you have the expectation that they are going to do X, Y, Z because you did A, B, and C, then that is just like you gave them a manual. It's like you gave them a handbook to work out of, but you never really gave them the handbook. Like, they don't know you have a handbook for them, right? So you can't have expectations of someone else because of something you did. Do whatever the A, B, and C is. Do the thing because you really want to, without expecting anything in return. Just know that by acknowledging your emotions and processing them without any judgment, you will be able to move forward without getting stuck in any negativity. Personal responsibility means being aware of your thoughts and your emotions, and you are choosing how you want to respond, even when your brain wants to create drama. I have been practicing this since 2017, and I cannot even tell you how peaceful my world usually is. Now, when I find myself getting overwhelmed, I use these tools. I come back to them. I get to choose how I want to respond. Even when my brain wants to cause stress, anxiety, drama, like get to the root of it. I will coach myself out of that situation. And when you're hanging around people that start either talking about someone else, it's so easy to slip down that slippery slide and just be like, yeah, I noticed that too. I mean, don't we have other things we should be focusing on ourselves besides focusing on someone else and talking about someone else? That is one of my biggest pet peeves. I don't like it. I don't like drama. I don't like talking about other people. I'm out. All right, you guys, just know the freedom of personal responsibility. That's the topic today. I keep coming back to it. As someone who's been practicing personal responsibility for quite some time, I can attest to its life-transforming power. It's allowed me to create a life that I genuinely adore, filled with self-confidence, self-love, and the ability to give without expecting anything in return, just like I spoke about a few minutes ago. So let's kind of break up with the habit of people pleasing. Like, stop doing things that we don't want to do. And stop saying yes when you really want to say no. Let's get really good at rocking the boat, I guess you'd say, or making decisions and just feeling our negative emotions without any guilt. It's okay. Remember, it's not your job to take responsibility for other people's emotions or their actions. That's on them. But when you take care of yourself and let others do the same thing, you build a healthy and happy and productive type of relationship with all of the people in your life. Personal responsibility is the path to a fulfilling, vibrant, and an extraordinary life, a very different life. It's one that you will be so proud of, to be authentic to yourself and be in total control of the responses you want to have. So I'm going to leave you with that today. I want to thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the #GetUnstuck podcast. I hope you found some inspiration and practical guidance on how to embrace personal responsibility and to set some healthy boundaries. You guys, life is too precious to spend it on like resentment or feeling overwhelmed or just constantly people pleasing. It's time to take the reins of your own life and create a future that really excites you. I'm here to lead the way, and I invite you to join me on this incredible journey of personal growth and transformation. Remember that you have the power to create the life that you desire. So why wait any longer? Start your journey toward personal responsibility today and watch your life transform in ways that you never even imagined could be possible. So stay tuned for our next episode, and until then, keep living your most empowered and fulfilled life. You've got this, my girl. I'll talk to you next time. Bye!
Hey friend, thank you so much for listening to Heather's Get Unstuck podcast. Her goal is to help as many women as possible, and if this episode helped you in any way, you can directly impact Heather's efforts by simply sharing a screenshot of this to your social media or team. Also, if you're looking for additional support, feel free to find Heather on Instagram at GlitterU, her website at www.glitteru.com, and or join the free Get Unstuck community Facebook group.